Thank you all for coming. Sorry. See, Ladki for me is a very, ambitious film of my entire career. The reason because I was very heavily influenced by Bruce Lee in my college days and growing years, and he's been one of the primary causes why I became a director. Because for me, Bruce Lee was not just about fighting. There's individualistic attitude. There is a kind of a philosophy he has towards life, and I just wanted. That kind of drove me to making a very individualistic self-expression, where I took films as my call. And then I never really had a thing that I want to make a martial arts film. That's because India really doesn't have a culture of martial arts that much at the time. And but it always was at the back of my head. So when much later after I became a director, I kind of seen, the later day martial artists after the death of Bruce Lee, like from Donnie Yen to Jackie Chan to various others came, Jet Li, Tony Jaa. I always used to wonder why they are not seeming to understand the original art of Bruce Lee in terms of how he interpreted the fighting arts and the style which he adapted. They pretty much seem to be in a classical mold, whereas Bruce Lee was always against classical styles because he thought each person has to develop his own individual style, which is what the in the true meaning of original art is about. So that is when I slowly started thinking about, can I attempt a martial arts film? Then at a point of time, one more thing I realized is, now, Bruce Lee being a very small person, he's like a 5'7" guy with a body weight of hardly 60 kgs. But on screen, he made me believe he can beat up people twice his size and multiple of them, and it was very believable. I think a kind of a combination of the rage in his eyes and the fury and the speed and the agility and the extraordinary body he has. So then I thought, why not take it a step forward and make it into a girl? Because the whole point is a weak person cannot, and a girl is weaker, as generally believed. So that is when I fixed up the basic plot line to be a female-centric martial arts film. So like I said earlier, it was very difficult even to get a male martial art in India. So female though it was much more tougher, but finally at a point of time I managed to get Pooja's contact. And she happens to be a taekwondo champion and took part in many national and international tournaments. And then once I met her, I got her trained in Jeet Kune Do, which is the Bruce Lee style. Yeah, that's how the whole journey happened. And after that I sent the footage to a Chinese company, and they were very impressed with Pooja's skills, and that was kind of really surprising because China is the motherland of martial arts. Like every greatest artist in China from Bruce Lee onwards came from China. So them being impressed with the Indian martial artist like Pooja was a huge this thing for us. So that's when it became Indo-Chinese co-production, and then lots of things, and we've been shooting for the last 3 years. But due to the COVID thing and various other related issues, it got delayed, and finally we're looking for a simultaneous release date. Incidentally, it is releasing on July 15th in China also in more than 40,000 screens. And so for me it is a very special film because I started my journey going on a cycle in Hyderabad to a theatre to watch Enter the Dragon when I didn't have money to buy the ticket. And now what inspired me in that theatre in Hyderabad, I managed to take that and convey in a certain film called Ladki, which is releasing in Bruce Lee's homeland in 40,000 screens. I think it's probably the greatest emotional high I've had in my career so far. Thank you.